Hey all, it is Altbeer, and I'm here for the weekly badge design meeting. Looks like people are running a little late, but I figured I'd kick the stream off. I'm actually still getting set up. I gotta load Twitch in a browser so I can see if anyone's chatting.
Into a six-page explanation of a
And
scientific
no, I don't want to
curiosity or
listen
like
to you. There we go. Alright, so we got a lot of updates tonight. Just gotta prepare my things. All right, give me just a second. I'm gonna shoot out a tweet. That way other people can see that we are here. All right, so let us start by checking out our campaign. We have about 6 days left in the campaign. It's actually almost 7 because I think we launched it about noon on a Thursday, or no, maybe it was a Wednesday. Yeah, 6 days left. So there are still kits available. It looks like the fully assembled badges have completely sold out again. But we are fully funded, which means this will happen. And now I have to stress over getting the design finished and getting all the stuff in. So that's where we're at now. Let me just check in. I don't see anyone from the badge team on yet, so I'll just continue with the updates. So yeah, we got lanyards updated. These are on order. So this is the proof that they sent me. Kind of show it here a little bigger. So yeah, it says the future will prevail, and my logo, it'll have an adjuster, a plastic adjuster to fit it to size, and the two lobster claw hooks that I've been liking on my badges so far. So that's kind of where we're at with the lanyards. They should be here in, I think they said 6 to 9 days. So hopefully that will come in time for me to show them off to people next week at our Dallas Hackers Association. Another thing that I've been working on, I haven't ordered these yet, but I've been working on a sticker, and I liked the look of the hologram stickers that have just black text on top of the hologram. So this is the image that I was using, like from the badge art. I was going to use this to make a sticker and include a sticker with every badge purchase, as well as give some away. So I got that piece done. I just got to finalize it and then order it. And now we got to finish the code, and we did a second prototype because for those that weren't on last week, we had some major revisions for the badge where let me zoom in on the bottom layer here and let us choose like front silk so I can see. We added 4 surface mount components. So we have this voltage regulator here, which you can see is fairly large and has large pads. We have a capacitor here. Then on this side we have a transistor here and a capacitor here. The other thing that we did is the voltage in pin on on the dev board. We're not using it. It's just a dead pin. And the reason is the LDO that's on here that takes the voltage range from like 3 volts to 18 volts or whatever, that is so inefficient that working with a 9-volt battery is just killing the battery too quickly. So using this new voltage circuit that True from the Whiskey Pirate crew helped design this. I say helped. He designed this and put it on the badge for me and walked me through exactly what it was doing. But this will give us a lot more battery life on the badge, so that 9-volt battery can last a lot longer. And the only real difference is these extra few components and going into the 3-volt line instead of directly into the voltage in. But it was a big enough design change that I decided to do another prototype board run, even though time is tight. So that being said, I am expecting, let me see if I can go back here, pull up my calendar. PCBWay finished the order last night or early this morning. So they manufactured it, and now it's with DHL. And so DHL, sent me a notice today that they're expecting delivery on July 5th. Even though this is like DHL Express overnight, the fastest shipping I could get. And the reason is because of this stupid holiday that's going to prevent them from doing any shipping stuff. So there's a chance I might get it on the 3rd, because they are delivering on the 3rd, which would be better. Because regardless whether we get it on the 3rd or on the 5th, I have to very quickly build one, make sure there's no issues with it, correct any issues that are with it, to get the production run no later than the 6th. So if we start the production run on the 6th, PCBWay is going to take 6 to 7 days to manufacture 300 of these. So what's that put us at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's call it the 13th. And then there's another 4 to 5 days of shipping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that puts us at July 18th, and that's if I turn this around in 24 hours. We are doing our first distribution for the badges locally in the DFW area on the 2nd of August. So this puts us 2 weeks away from distribution, and we have to solder together 35 of these things for the fully assembled kits. It's not a lot of time. So we're going to have to, the badge team locally here, we're going to have to get together and do a soldering party or something. So time is very tight. It is not with us on this. I think is definitely doable, but this second prototype is putting us behind the 8 ball. But I think it was necessary to get the better battery life and to test out this circuit. So that's where we're at with the those updates. Let me just check again, see if anyone for the badge team joined. Not yet. All right. So yeah, as far as next steps and to-dos, we have to finish the code, which I got basic code working as far as blinking all the LEDs and the touch panel and stuff like that. But we were going to put a puzzle on there. I hate the term puzzle. CTF is more like it. It's going to be a CTF on the badge. 1 second. Excuse me. Oh, I hate that. All right, so, and of course there's 2. So that requires us doing a lot of the code for the Wi-Fi and standing up a web server on it and doing things to allow for a CTF. That code is in progress, but it's not been fully tested yet. So we need to get that code done, because looking at our calendar here, if I get boards on the 18th, hopefully before then, I'll have all of the dev boards, because we have the little dev boards, these little guys. We have most of those in-house already from previous orders that we did while we were waiting. We could start flashing these. We have to get hundreds of these flashed before the boards arrive for us to start assembling. So really, looking at it, today's the 29th. Honestly, we have 2 weeks from today to finalize the code. We have to have the code done on the 13th if we have any chance of flashing 200 of these guys by the 18th. So once again, tight time frames, a lot to do, and hopefully I'll get a lot of help from the local badge team to do that. I know the whole CTF code is not anything I'm working on. That's one of our badge team members. So good news, but a lot of work has to happen yet. All right, so let us see what else we can talk through. Yeah, as far as, well, I guess I should talk about the distribution. So if people had ordered or backed us on, I hate that I can't say order because we're not ordering products here. You're backing us to fund this. If people did that, what's going to happen is when this closes in 6 days, we'll blast out an email to all of the backers that will give you, I thought I put it in here, it's going to give you an electronic ticket of some sort. Well, we don't know what that is yet. Maybe we'll use like Eventbrite or something like that, or maybe we'll just make something up on the fly. But it'll be some type of an electronic ticket that says you're entitled to this reward, whichever one you got, right? And then you will take that ticket with you to one of the in-person badge drops to pick up your reward. So those badge drops, the very first one, like I said, is August 2nd, and that's at the Dallas Hackers Association meeting. Then we have another one on August 5th, that's the following Saturday. And at that point, the rest of them are going to be in Vegas, and we have 3 scheduled in Vegas right now. On August 9th, which will be in the Caesars Forum where LineCon is set up. August 10th, that Thursday, there's going to be a happy hour badge drop, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Link cocktail bar, the one that's right in the lobby of the Link. And then Friday, August 11th, in the Hardware Hacking Village. We may add some more Vegas drop points, but until we get closer, it's hard for me to figure out where's the best place to do a drop. So these are the definite ones that we'll have, but we might have some more in Vegas in case there are people that are at the con but can't make one of these times. We want to make sure we get the badges into people's hands. So that is the main distribution. Now, of course, we're going to have people that can't pick it up or whatever. They couldn't make it to Vegas. They thought they would. Unfortunately, we are not doing shipping on these. So we'll have to figure out a way for people to designate someone else to pick it up. And it might be as simple as you want someone else to pick up the badge for you. You give them your e-ticket and have them pick it up with that. But yeah, we'll have to work out those details. So checking on my badge team because I'm hoping, they're still not on. It looks like someone is running 10 minutes behind. Well, it's 16 minutes behind. All right. Yeah, I am going to need a lot of help with all this stuff. So I'm hoping more members of the badge team step up because right now we had a lot of people volunteer and one person has really stood out and has been helping, but we're going to need more if we're going to make all this happen. So we have this. I guess let's check out the code. Where's the code? Yeah, the code is fairly simplistic right now, but I don't think I've done a code review since we put the prototype together. So let's see if I can open this up and walk through the code. Then as soon as our badge team joins, I'm going to switch over and we'll start talking logistics. Okay, why are you taking forever to open? Maybe because I have too many things open. Yes. So we're trying to do the code in Arduino. That way it's easily accessible for people to change up the code if they want without having a lot of programming experiences. But this has presented some challenges. Because Arduino, it's not the best programming tool. All right, let's see. All right, so this is what we got so far with the code. So it calls an Adafruit NeoPixel header and then the ESP Wi-Fi header. We're probably going to have it do an include on the CTF stuff. We'll get that as a C file that gets called in to this, because that's not something people will be modifying. It'll just get called in and it'll be there. We set all the different pins and what they mean. And these correspond, these definitions correspond to the schematic. So if you have the schematic, you should be able to easily tell what's what by looking at it. We have our touch pin. This is just the PWM pin assignment and the frequency and whatnot. This is for the 2 NeoPixel strips because it has 4 NeoPixels set up in 2 strips of 2. Then touch threshold and value. And then the first thing I do here is just turn Wi-Fi off. And this is one of the things that we're going to have to change. We're probably going to keep Wi-Fi mode is off initially, but then have like a long touch of the touch panel to turn it on and to enable the CTF. So we have to set up the LEDs. So this sets up the PWM LEDs, and then this one sets up the normal LEDs, and then the NeoPixels, and the serial output. And then we have our loop, a simple delay timer for this whole loop. We're pulling in the touch value, and the touch value, what I'm doing with this is I am going to up the threshold if the values are too close. So basically this is going to auto adjust every loop, the touch threshold value. So basically it's saying if the touch value divided by the touch threshold is greater than 2, that means it's going to be very hard to detect a touch, right? Because the value is so much higher than the threshold. It's always going to it's going to be harder for it to detect the touch. So if that's the case, I'm going to raise the touch threshold by timesing it by 1.8. And it'll do that every time, so if it needs to step up a lot, it can. In practice, I've only seen it maybe step up once or twice to get to where it needs to be. But this should be less of an issue with the new design, because that's the other thing the new design had in it, was a lot more copper fill areas to help the touch panel be more stable as far as not getting interference from stuff around it, especially with that ESP radio right nearby. All right, so then we got a for loop where we iterate just 255, and then I'm using the position to do some math for some of this stuff. So basically, I'm going to set the blue LEDs and the white LEDs and the red-yellow LEDs using some math on the position. This is just to set the different colors and the way it does color shifting. Well, hey, it looks like we have Sapien on.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. I'm just walking through code.
Hi.
Are you on the stream?
No, I'm about to get home, but I I got my phone to work, so.
That's cool. So yeah, lots of LED stuff in the code here, and I do some serial printing. That way you can see what's going on in the serial as well. And then the touch, if it recognizes that there's a touch, basically I just light up everything high. So it's like a big boop right now. It just lights up all the LEDs when you touch it. And that's all there really is to the code. It's not a whole lot, and this is where we need to do a lot of improvements on the code. So there's a quick code walkthrough. Alright, so since you're on Sapien, I'll catch you up. You know that we made our Indiegogo badge goal, right?
That's exciting.
We're at 110% right now, so 69 backers.
That's phenomenal.
Yep. But it means that we got to assemble at least 35 badges, since that's how many we put out on Indiegogo that got bought. So
that's not too bad.
yeah,
We'll get it done.
well, what I was explaining a minute ago was the calendar of events is kind of tight. The second prototype board, I'm probably not going to get it until July 5th. And that means even if I turn it around quick in 24 hours, build it, make sure it works, or correct whatever doesn't work, right? We have to order the production run on July 6th. No two ways about it. That's our drop dead to order the production run. Because the production run is going to take 7 days in manufacturing, which means it won't get shipped out of China until the 13th, and then it'll take another 5 days to get to us. So that means we'll have boards in hand on July 18th. So assuming we have boards in hand and we are ready to start soldering stuff on the 19th, the 19th of July is exactly 2 weeks away from August 2nd, when we have to do our first Indiegogo reward distribution. So from the time we get product in hand to the time we have to distribute it, we have exactly 2 weeks. So that's why it's a tight window to do 30 fully assembled badges, because I don't know how many of those fully assembled are going to pick up on the 2nd. I have to assume all of them, right? Just in case.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of soldering. So I'm thinking we got to plan a solder party maybe for Saturday the 22nd of July and just get me, you, and some of the other badge team people together at my house on a Saturday to solder up a bunch of badges.
And I'll bring my soldering station, and I got 2 or 3 of them. I'm sure you have plenty too.
Yeah, I probably have 10 soldering stations just because I teach soldering classes at these different events. So yeah, so we'll have plenty. But yeah, that brings us to the code discussion, right? So assuming that we want everything ready to go on the 18th of July, that would mean all of the ESPs have to have final code flashed on them by the 18th of July so that they're ready to solder on boards or put in kits, right? And that means, knowing that we have hundreds of these to flash, I was saying Thursday the 13th, 2 weeks from today, is our drop dead to have the final code working. So we have to get code for CTF and everything else. All of that has to be final by the 13th in 2 weeks.
So I'm gonna try to aim to finish by the 5th. And
Okay.
honestly, I'd like to get together on the 5th with you so that we can build 1 or 2 boards and use that time to test and then place the order, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, if we can get it done sooner, that'd be great. And then other stuff I got coming, so I ordered the lanyards. I know you're not on the stream, so you can't see them, but they look pretty good. But as is usual with lanyards, they're fucking expensive. So even going with the cheaper polyester and the cheaper printing that they do, and the plastic things. It came out to almost a dollar lanyard, and yeah, we have 335 of them. Actually, I only paid for 310. They gave me 25 free. So yeah, $310 plus tax plus shipping. Yeah, shit ain't cheap. But the lanyards will look cool. And then I'm working on a sticker. The sticker's probably gonna run us another 250 bucks because I want to do a hologram sticker. But yeah, those are expensive too. But that'll be really awesome to have a hologram sticker to go with the badge that has like badge art matching on it. So yeah, we got those things are in play. I think all of the components are either arrived or on order. I think the last piece I got to order for the components is the last batch of ESPs. And I was holding off until I tested the first two batches, where I was actually opening up all the packages and hooking them up to the computer, make sure I could flash code to them and stuff. Because sometimes with these Chinese providers, their failure rate is kind of high. But we did pretty good on this. In both of the previous orders of 100, there was only 3 bad ones in each of those orders. So it's a 3% failure rate, which is pretty good. So that means I can go ahead and order that last 100 to get the full order going. And if we're short a few because of the bad ones, we can just pick those up on Amazon. And then the last big expense that's left is the PCB, and assuming it does not change from what we have spec'd out for prototype 2, to get 300 of them made with PCBWay is going to be about $780 for manufacturing, and then another $300 for shipping. So just over $1,000 for the PCBs.
Wow. Yeah. Like you're saying, it's a little more, right?
Well, these are bigger boards. Because it is 2 PCBs that we're manufacturing as one, it comes out to 1 PCB that's extra large, and so it costs more to manufacture that. So, but we'll see what the final is. That was just me doing estimates using their calculator. We'll see when we actually put it together in order what it looks like.
Yeah, can you show me the lanyard? I'm on.
Oh, you're on now? Yeah. Let me pull that back up. Zoom in here. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I threw my logo
Nice.
on there, and then the future will prevail. So, and it's got the 2 lobster claw hooks like I used on my previous badges because those work really nice. I like those better than the standard J clips, even though these add, I think, like 15 or 20 cents to the lanyard. I think it's worth it to have just an easy click to open instead of having to pop it on there with the J clip, which the J clip will damage the PCB and scrape it and stuff. So yeah,
Agreed.
so I think that's worth it. And I love these little plastic things. These only added I think 5 or 6 cents to each lanyard because it's just a little plastic thing that allows you to adjust it to the height of where it's sitting on your neck. Because whenever I get lanyards from other people's badges and they don't have it on here, I always have to like tie a knot in the back to get it where I need it to be, and I usually end up replacing them with something like this that I have in stock. So figure give that to people right off the bat. Yeah, and then did you see the sticker art? So here's what the sticker is looking like. Let me get it over here so my face is not blocking it. Yeah, so the sticker is based on the badge, but it's a little different because the layout was a little different, and I had to make things bigger because this is going to be a 2-inch by 3-inch sticker. So it's going to be pretty small. I think if I actually make it like actual size, it'll be something like this. So in order for those details to pop, I had to make like the words a lot bigger and zoom in on stuff. So, but I think that'll look good with a holographic background and just black text on top of the holograph.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it'll
think
look
so. It
it'll
looks
look
good.
kind of like the stickers that Wirefall did, if you saw those. Yeah, because those were holographic stickers with black on top. So definitely liking that look. So that'll be cool. But the holographic stickers are expensive too. I think I was looking at 500 of the stickers was like $220. So
I mean, for how many?
for 500,
It's not too bad.
yeah. Yeah, it's enough that we can put one in every badge packet and still have some left over to give out. So I think that'll be cool.
Great. Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk calendar again real quick. So I think we're saying the 22nd is when we want to do like a build-a-thon, right?
Yeah.
I'll just put that there. Okay. And then, yeah, code we'll have done before then. So whenever you get the code done, we'll start playing with the code, because we can play with the code now with the protos we have, because nothing's changing as far as the pinout of anything. Yeah, I
Okay,
think that's it.
Yeah, it's the power is the big change, right?
Right, yeah, the power's a big change. Yep. And I was showing that. I don't know if you had a chance to look at that. But, oops, wrong way. I was going to open up the schematic, not the PCB. Oh,
So I didn't know if you knew that these chips have 4 megs of RAM. EEPROM RAM, right? Flash RAM.
yeah,
And,
you were telling me you were using that as part of the, the
Yeah,
CTF
yeah, I'm
stuff,
leveraging
right?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using 1.2 for binary, and the compile binary, and the rest for other things.
Right.
Great.
All right. So basically, here's the circuit. We have this voltage regulator that
Yeah.
is going to take 9 volts in and put 3.3 out, right? It has a 10 UF capacitor and a 22 UF capacitor on either side. Then over here, we have our transistor, and this goes to the switch that's going to switch on and off the 9 volt on this leg, and then has the battery coming in on the other leg. And over here we have another 22 UF on the 3.3 volt line, and so those control the power. So you'll notice voltage in is now X'd out, and so the 3.3 volt is an input and an output, and so it's taking power in instead of just out. And what that means is the power for the stuff that's coming off the 3 volt rail, specifically these NeoPixels that was just being powered off a 3 volt, it's no longer drawing power off of the dev board. It's getting it directly from the battery on that 3 volt rail. So that's kind of an advantage. It's not having to, it's not using up power on this board for this, right? Because this guy has a limit of how much output power he can pull. And so now the only limit is down here.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then if I go back to the PCB view, we can see we have the voltage regulator is a larger part, and it's surface mount, but it's because it's larger, it has nice big pads. Should be pretty easy to hand solder. And then this is one of the 22 UF capacitors. It's surface mount, And you can see it's pretty large. This is a 1210. So it's it's a little wider than the normal 1206 parts, which are pretty chunky parts as far as surface mount parts go. And then the pad is extra large, so it should be easy to solder in there. The 10UF, just to not get people confused part-wise, we ended up going with a different LMCC capacitor, which is a different form factor, just so it looks different than the rest of the components. And then the other two components, we have the transistors here, and you can see these pads are extra long. The actual feet of the transistor are pretty short, so that gives you a lot of room to hand solder that in there. And then here's another, the other 22UF, which is a 1210 larger pads. Let me see if I can go to 3D view here. Come on. I think I can. I think I can. I think I have too much shit open. Alright. Let me actually come down here so we can see this. So yeah, you can see the parts here. This one is the surface mount. This is a surface mount. That's a surface mount, and that's a surface mount. That's the only 4 surface mounts that we put in there. And then this guy won't exactly look like that. It almost looks kind of like the ceramic disc capacitors, only bigger and wider, and blue instead of the tan color. This was just a weird 3D part that's on there. I think, let me see if I can pull up the actual order, because this should arrive any day now. But I can pull up an actual picture of what that'll look like as soon as I multi-factor authentication into their site. Okay. Ah, yes, here we go. Okay. So, can I make you bigger? Yeah, let's draw you over here. Yeah, no, go over here. There we go. So you can see what it looks like. It's more rectangle shaped, but it still looks like like the ceramic disc ones, but it's more of a rectangle shape. So that'll be a nice unique shape to not get it confused with other components on the board.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. Yeah, and everything else, like some of this, the layout of the resistors was moved around a little bit to make more sense. Oops. Zoom in here. So you can see you can barely see underneath the part here. I put a little B or a W for the blue and white.
Looks like you fixed the orientation.
All of them are pointed the same way.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Yeah, and the little diagram here of which is the short pin, which is the long pin, that is bigger and off to the side to where you can easily see it. So it's about twice the size as it was on the current board.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the B and the W should help people tell, okay, the flat top ones go here because it is a B, and the W's are the regular rounded top ones. And then same thing with these guys. So all of these, they're pointing the other way from these, but all of these 3-pin ones are all pointing to the right as far as the orientation. That way everything's consistent. This type LED all points that way. This type all points that way. And then for these, the same thing. These all point the same direction. That way,
like it.
each LED type points the same way. It'll make it easy to put together. And the diagrams show you how to put the pins in, so you know exactly where the long pin goes in relation to things. Yeah, and where I had put my proto together with the male pins here and the female pins up top, I'm actually kind of liking the idea of the female pins on bottom, because I built another one with the females on the bottom, and it seems to pop on and off a lot easier than with the male on the top. And then I guess sneak peek for people on here, yes, there is cryptograms on here, and that's all you'll get to see of that. So no cheating ahead of time. But yeah, so we're getting really good to go. And then as far as opening up the GitHub, I think we had said once the project closes we were going to do that. But I may go ahead and do that now. That way I can just start working on the web page, because I need to get that web page thing going. So yeah, maybe we'll just do that now. All right, draw you over here. Future badge. And actually, I still have some updates on art that aren't in here yet for the lanyard and the other, but I can add those later. But we're going to go to, where's the actual settings for the project? Thought it was in here somewhere. Ah, that is the settings of the project. All right. Danger zone. Yes, I want to make this public. Yes, I know what it means. Yes, I really do know what it means. No, I don't want a new password. Why aren't you filling in my old password? Ah, shit. Hold on. I'm gonna have to type a password in. I thought it would autofill it.
It showed something that looked like a password.
Well, it was trying to generate a new password for the site.
Oh, that's good. I was about to say, if it was your actual password, you want to change it now?
No, it wasn't my actual password. It was just trying to generate one to be helpful instead of being helpful by filling the one that was there. Bastard. All right. So I believe we're public now. Currently public. All right. So the repo is public. Future badge under Gallon RW. And what that means is I can start working on the web page, because under docs I'm gonna change that to be like a built-in GitHub web page, and then I'll do the DNS to point the name futurebadge.altbeer.us to CNAME over to that, the way I do with my other badges. And then we'll have our place to start updating, because right now docs just has a bunch of photos in it and stuff. So I need to, the photos can stay there, but I need to put like the index page and stuff like that. So I'll start working on that, and then we'll have a nice web page going, and that'll be a place where we have the sponsor page. So those people on Indiegogo who actually wanted to opt in to have their name listed as a sponsor, we'll have a page dedicated to showing all the sponsors. So that'll be cool. Yeah, and then I gotta link it into my site here. So yeah, if we look at this one, this is kind of like what the web page will look like. This homecomingaltbeer.us. This is actually the docs directory in the GitHub repo for that. So when you view on GitHub and go to docs, that's where you have the CNAME record and the config and the index and all that. So it's just a web page that sits on there. Makes it really easy to stand up pages related to the badge. So, all right, so I'll get that done. Kept my promise, made it public. So if people see this later, they'll start jumping on there, I'm sure, and hopefully nobody tries to make my PCBs instead of buying them from me. So hopefully I won't regret doing that. But I think that is about all I had as far as updates. So we got a good date for the badge build, and I think we're making good progress on that. You said you're making good progress on the code. So if you have something to share at DHA next week, that would be awesome. Because don't forget, DHA is on the 5th, so.
That's true.
Yep.
That's a good point.
So yeah, cool. So what other updates you have? Anything?
No, I mean, so I don't want to give too much away, but I have 3 of the challenges done.
Okay.
I'm moving on to the next 3.
Yeah, keep in
Mainly
mind we're on a
based on-
live stream,
based
so don't give away any secrets.
It's based on categories.
Right.
So trying to cover a couple categories, and I've already finished one. So
Cool.
I'll just say the file system is going to help with some of the other categories.
Nice.
That was something I solved last night.
Okay.
Because apparently I'm using the Arduino 2.0 stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff for pre 2.0, but I don't want to go backwards.
No, I've been using the 2.0 stuff just because it seems to like the ESPs a little better than the pre 2.0 as far as recognizing the board right away and which board type it is, stuff like that.
Yeah, so that was giving me some pain, but yeah, I solved that. So
Cool.
moving forward, actually, it really makes things a lot easier. Just because before, and really more importantly, it lets me use the full 4 megabytes. Because before, it wasn't looking. I mean, I'm sure I would have found a way, but it's just easier.
Right.
So that's about as much as I want to give away.
Cool. All right, man.
We'll have to talk later what we want to talk about on the 5th.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, we don't give away too much.
Yeah, we can talk again later. And one thing I definitely want to try to do between now and the 5th is get some of these other people in the community that said that they wanted to help with the badge, get them involved to start helping us, because now we're in crunch time and we're going to need people to help solder or help put kits together, things like that. So, yeah, I think we need to get some of those local folks that have kind of disappeared on us to bring them back into the fold. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, and maybe that won't happen until DHA. we'll browbeat them and guilt them into helping. So, cool. All right. Well, I think this was a good meeting. So, yeah, I'll let you go, and then you and I can touch base on the code later, maybe tomorrow night or Saturday, something like that. Actually, I got a 4-day weekend. I don't know if you have both Monday and Tuesday off.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have Monday, Tuesday, and I took today and tomorrow off.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so whenever we'll find a day then, because I'll have plenty of time after work tomorrow.
Good. Yeah,
Cool.
I'll be pinging you. Especially if I hit a good spot, I'll ping you and then we'll coordinate.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
All right, and for those on the live stream or watching this recorded, thank you for watching our badge development, and tune in next week to see where we're at, and hopefully we have a new prototype in hand. So, thanks and good night.